Okay, so I've got my models starting to come together. I've modelled some of my bathroom elements, and most importantly, I've got some materials assigned. And I might just go to the 3D view so you can see there. Nothing special, but I've at least got some tiles, and we can start to see how this is going to look when it's rendered. Of course, there's a long way to go, but still a really good idea to set up some renders, and that'll give us an idea how these materials are working, and also how maybe you need to progress the work that I'm doing. So I'll go back to the ground floor plan. And no, sorry, actually I've got a bathroom floor plan, so I'm going to go to that. And then upon the quick access toolbar, I'll go to the camera tool. And then I'm going to click a point where my camera is going to be, where I'm taking my view from. Out there. And then it's going to take that in the direction I want to be looking. And when you place the target, try not to put it too close to the camera. So you can see there, if it's too close, the field of view, it's really the depth there, or the clipping, is going to cut off a lot of the space. So that little triangle you can see, that's our field of view, and we want that to go deep enough to see the whole space. So there we are, there's my perspective, but it's quite narrow, so I'm just going to extend the sides out, and that's widening the field of view, just so I can see a bit more. It'd be nice if we could get those vanity units in, but just watch out when you start stretching these views out, they will distort a bit at the edges if you go too far, and you can see there, that's right on the edge. The sink looks a little bit distorted, but I'll live with that because I do want to see it. Okay, so there's my perspective, and so without doing anything else, I can render that if I just click on the little teapot down on the view control bar. And the teapot in Autodesk programs usually means rendering. So if it's not clear to you, that is a little teapot, that little button at the bottom, but if you go to the View tab, you'll see a bigger version of it there as well, and that does the same thing. So again, clicking that render button brings up your render dialog box. And again, without doing anything in there, just going to click render. Okay, so it's all set up for us. It's got a sun, and it should have detected where we are. You might think we're in Canberra, again because of our domain, but on your laptops or any computers you've got, it should detect where you are and find that you're in Sydney. And I'll show you how to adjust that. So I'm going to close the dialog box, and then on the view control bar, click on the sun, and then go to sun settings. So then you can see it's on this lighting option, which basically lets you type in angles for your sun position. So essentially you've got the compass position, whether it's north, south, east or west, and the altitude, which is the height of the sun, basically. So you can do it with those two angles, but if you go to still, then you can see there it's trying to find our location, again, because this is a huge domain. It's detecting Canberra. Not a problem. We can click on the browse button there. And again, this is where it should automatically find your location. On your own computers, that'll be fine. But here, we can manually override that by going to this default city list. And then you can just manually choose Sydney. Make sure you get the one in Australia, not the one in Canada, and there we are. So it's a marginal difference between Sydney and Canberra anyway, but it's about a degree or two, so you might notice it. While I'm there, I'm going to turn the ground plane off, just because we've already modelled the courtyard floor, so we don't need that ground plane. getting in the way. So I'll click OK. And then to see that, without having to render, you can just click on the shadows button. So next to the sun, you've got the shadows on and off. And just from the shadows there, we can tell the direction of the sun. And I'll go back to sun settings now with the shadows still on. So again, just by clicking on the sun, back to sun settings. And then, this is one of the things I really like with Revit, you can just change the time, click apply, and see the effect of your change. So if you're not really familiar with the way the sun moves throughout the day and throughout the different dates throughout the year, that's a really good way of getting used to it. So this is in winter, when we actually have quite steep angles for the sun. If we go to summer, just choose a date in December, and then you'll see that the angles are much, I said steeper before, should have said shallower. So they're much steeper now. So in other words, they're more overhead in summer, generally. So again, if I go back to morning, click apply, even then it's quite overhead. And then again, going through. So you can probably tell from the angle of the shadows that the sun is basically to our left. And if you had a look at the source drawings, you might have noticed which way north is. Have you had a look at that on the plans? Maybe I'll just open that up. So, in the brief there, okay, so you can see there it's got a north point, and it's pointing down. So, okay, so that means north would be this direction, where the deck is. So the sun should be coming from that side, not from the left. It should be coming from the right, not from the left. So we need to change that direction. And for that, you've got the true north floor plan. So in your project browser, you should see that. Under your site plan, you'll have true north. And then you need to go to the Manage tab, Position, and then rotate true north. So I'm going to just click a point to the south. So that's where we want north to be. So from that base point that you can see there, I'm just moving that line so that it's pointing due south or directly towards the bottom. And then I'll take it 180 degrees, so that's now pointing where we want north to be. In other words, straight up. So it's rotated the whole floor plan. So north is now coming from the top. And it won't affect your other floor plans. So if I go back to any of the other floor plans, they'll still be facing the way they were before. It's only that true north view that's going to change. And it's a view that's there just for you to change the north direction, essentially. Okay, so I want to go back to my camera view. And so if you don't remember, in your 3D views, it'll always make camera views with this name format, 3D view and then a number. So 3D view 1 is my camera view, and then you can see already my north direction has changed. I've got the shadows coming from the right, so in other words our sun is coming from that direction. So going back to sun settings, I can again adjust, I'll just adjust the time and see the effect. Okay, so summer might seem like a good option, but that's only because we don't have a ceiling. If we had a ceiling there, you think the summer sun would give us a lot of light? No, it normally doesn't give you as much light as you get in winter, because again it's steeper, it's coming from more overhead, and so you can see in the windows there that there's not much of a shadow, or there's not much light, sorry, it's all shadow. So if we go back to, let's go to spring. I often use spring and autumn, because it's in between. Click apply, and we get more light because the sun is lower in the sky. We go back to winter, so 22nd of June, that's the lowest point. So we get plenty of sun coming through those windows. Right, so the problem then now is that we've got enough sun coming through the windows, but of course we've still got sun coming from overhead because we don't have a ceiling yet. So that's a very quick thing I can just do now. I'm going to go to the bathroom floor ceiling plan, and you can see that you can't see any walls. Just going to go down to the view range option in properties here, click edit, and change that cut plane to 1800, and then the top, this is the important thing, I'm going to make the top unlimited. Click OK, and oh sorry, I always forget this. View depth in a ceiling plan is actually looking up, so you need to set view depth basically to the same as what you set top to, or higher, but at least just in this case set it to the same as top, so unlimited. Right. And there we are. So now I can see the walls. And I'm going to come back and spend some more time on ceilings later, so for now I'm just going to quickly make a ceiling just by going to the architecture tab, clicking ceiling, and then I'm just going to click inside the space there and let it make the ceiling for me. So click, and then I'll do one inside that little cubicle as well. Click. And that's done. So I've got the ceiling. If I go back to the 3D view, there it is. So I'll render again. Click on the teapot. But this time, I'm going to change the lighting option from exterior sun only to interior sun only. Render. And there we go. Now it might seem far too bright, and it is, but that's normal. So don't be worried when you see this happen. It's actually the right thing. It's all to do with the exposure. So you just need to click Adjust Exposure, and then using the slider here at the top, just drag that in the direction you need. So in this case we want it to be darker, so I'll drag it to the right. Click Apply, and just going to tone down that lighting. So we can just take it a bit more to the right, and even further maybe. So you're trying to avoid these overexposed areas, these really bright spots. And there we are, so maybe even further. Yep. Okay, so that can give you an idea where you maybe need to add more windows. So I could put a window down here to get more light to the bath, and also maybe we can put some extra lights onto the ceiling in other places. But if you at least get to that stage where you've got renders working with natural light, or in other words sunlight, that actually meets the requirements of the brief. So for this assignment, all you need to have are renders with natural light or sunlight, but again later you've got the option to add artificial light supply. So anyhow, you can just keep going like that and try and get a basic render set up. I will just show you very quickly now. If you want to progress it, you can try adding maybe something like a window. If I put a new window in here, and then go back to my camera view, I'll just lift that window up a little bit, maybe a bit higher. No, too high. There we go. I'll leave it. Oh, sorry, I'll see one more change. 750. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so now everything else is set up, so I can just go back to render. and see the result of that. And there we go, they're much better. And again, don't be afraid to adjust the sun settings and anything else that you need to there. So if you get one you're happy with and you want to keep, in here you can just click Save to Project, and that'll save the render. And remember, this is only on draft, but we'll leave it on draft for now. Later you can increase the quality, but even on draft it looks okay usually. And that's it. So yeah, so you can get a render set up and then just continue developing your design, and we'll look at putting things onto sheets after that. If you have any questions, I'll give you screens back.